Welcome back, all my favorite people of the whole entire world. We are here talking Star Wars The Last Jedi. It is finally here, and oh my god, I get to talk about it. Now, first, this is spoilers review. Like I said, we're gonna spoil the hell out of this movie, and sadly, my friend who was gonna join me for the spoiler discussion didn't get to make it, but me and him do have some special videos planned, and I actually do have a couple Star Wars videos planned for after the holidays, just until you guys get more time to get out and go see it so more people can join us in the lively discussion. But today, like I said, spoilers review. We are talking about all the moments I couldn't talk about in my not-spoilers review. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go check out that review. But other than that, guys, let's get into this review. The thing about Star Wars The Last Jedi is when I came out of it, I was very conflicted. I didn't know what to think about it. I knew I loved it, but it was different than anything I had ever expected. And I really think that this film is getting a lot of hate because people were having all these theories and all these predictions for something to happen in this film, and none of them ever did. This film went in different bold directions that I didn't think the franchise would actually go. And yes, does it have some moments from Empire or Return of the Jedi? Yes, it does. But for me, I don't feel like it rehashed this film, just like a lot of people said Force Awakens did. I felt like this film was very new and brave and bold. And I've now seen the film twice. The second viewing of this film, I wasn't conflicted. I found myself loving the film even more, and especially Finn's storyline was the thing that I was not looking forward to, but I actually felt more intrigued with. Don't know why, but I was expecting it to happen, and it didn't anger me or get me mad at all anymore. I was just enjoying the fun ride. Because I look at this Star Wars film, and it isn't a film about different galaxies and worlds. Even though we do go to some, this film is more of a character study of each and every characters that we've known for years, and some of the newer characters that we've just met from Force Awakens or even in this film. And that is what I think The Last Jedi does so well. Maybe not furthering the plot, but furthering each and every character into a different moment of what we are to see them in Episode 9 and beyond. I think that's how I'm going to layer out this spoilers review. I think I'm going to talk about each and every character and moments that I loved about them. So the first character I want to talk about, though, is kind of a couple of the smaller ones, just because to get them out of the way. First, I was very disappointed to see Maz Kanata not really have a lot of screen time. That was very disappointing to me because I thought she was a very intriguing and cool character in Force Awakens. I wanted more of her, and the fact that she was just on this holo projection shooting was kind of dumb. I think she deserved more, especially since she's played by Lupita Nyong'o. I think she deserved more from that. I hope in Episode 9 we get more of her. Let's move to Captain Phasma. A big complaint from the first film that a lot of people complain. Captain Phasma, she's such a badass, blah, blah, blah. I will say, they used her a bit more. She got to use her fighting skills, but we didn't get any background history on her. For me, as much as I liked seeing how badass she was, the actress who plays her, Gwendolyn Christie, deserves more oomph. And if you guys have read the book that's about Phasma, you actually get more of those details that I wish they would show in the film. But obviously it's a little hard when they're balancing out 5-6 different characters and kind of just this one side character to get more screen time. I kind of look at Captain Phasma as the Boba Fett of this franchise. Looks badass, does some things, but not a lot of things. Even though I do like Boba Fett more, that's how I kind of look at her in this film. And let's move over to Rose, the brand new character that they introduced in here. And, you know, I like her character. I think the little forced romance that they have between her and Finn is a little too forced, in my opinion. Just a little bit. But I still enjoy her character in general, and I can't wait to see where they take her in the next installment, because I think she had enough layers to her in here where it made me care about her, but also like her character enough, especially since the actress who plays her is just brilliant. She's so cute and has a lot of energy to her role, which I really do like. And the last character I do want to talk about that's kind of not really a big character, but I wanted to be a big character, was Snoke. Now, yes, this guy over here, if you guys have been following my channel, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of the character Snoke. Just from how he looks, I'm so intrigued by him. And he died! He died! And we'll get into that later on, but Kylo Ren killed Snoke. What? What? Oh my god! Like, I was shocked when Snoke died, because I thought they were building this guy up to be the big villain of this whole franchise, but no, it turns out Kylo Ren is going to be the big villain from what we are getting. This is a big departure than anything I could have ever looked at, because Snoke, everyone had these theories. Is he Plagueis? Is he something else? Is he this? Is he that? Is he Jar Jar Binks? No one knew, and maybe we'll never know. But I will say, seeing Snoke on the screen, one, he looked fantastic. I couldn't even tell it was CGI. Two, his dynamic between him and Kylo Ren was great. He was menacing. Of course, he's played by Andy Serkis, so you're gonna get that menacing tone from him, just the way he's talking. You see the Force lightning come out of him, that was awesome. The dude has a very strong, we obviously can see that Snoke is a very strong villain in here, because of course we see when he calls Husk over the hologram, he grabs Husk and pulls him down to the ground, even though it's just from a hologram on a separate ship that's light years away, because his ship hasn't even shown up. That was really cool to see, and I like the character of Snoke. I hope maybe in a spin-off series, or a spin-off movie, maybe we'll get something more of Snoke, maybe some more background details, or even a book or a comic. I'd really like to see more of where Snoke came from. But at the same time, I look at it as this. I bet when the original trilogy came out and everyone saw Palpatine for the first time, no one really cared who he was. Everyone just intrigued him to be always this cool dark Sith Lord. But look at Snoke and we're like, oh my god, we need more of him, we need more of him, we need more of him, because we know everything about Palpatine, but we really didn't find out anything about Palpatine until the prequels. So maybe we'll find out more about Snoke later on, down in future films that maybe take place before this. So I do feel fine with what they did with Snoke. It was very surprising. It's a very different dynamic that we're going to see in the next film, but I did really like where Snoke went in this film. Different than what I expected, but I liked it. There's a character I mentioned in there that I actually do kind of want to talk about is General Husk. I liked his humor, I liked his comedy bits, and I liked what he did. It was pretty funny. I mean, that whole opening scene between him and Poe, when Poe's kind of like, hey, can I hold? Okay, I'll hold. And it's just so funny because Husk really played in that. Dom Hall Gleason really played into that role of Husk, and I liked where they took Husk's character. Obviously, we didn't get more of him. There were some scenes, though, when Husk, you see him pulling out the blaster when Kylo's laying on the ground. That's intriguing, and I feel like that's going to play into the next episode 9, but I guess we'll have to see. Let me say Poe, and I think that's where we should start and segue right into Poe Dameron in this film. In the first film, he was very sidelined. I love Oscar Isaac as the character, and obviously in rewrites, they actually kept Poe alive. Originally, Poe was supposed to die in The Force Awakens. Thankfully, he didn't, because I think he was great in here. And this whole arc he had in here really, I feel like, is setting him up to be General Leia's position. Because obviously, Carrie Fisher has passed away. But I feel like the next installment, we're going to get Poe Dameron into that role of being the leader of this new republic. See that in many different aspects of this, and I feel like next film will probably open up with Leia's funeral and him taking command, because the next film, I'm assuming, will most likely take place a couple years after, just like Return of the Jedi have, because this film literally is only a couple hours after Force Awakens. But like I said, I really like where they took Poe's character. I like the leadership role he was taking. I like how we saw more fundamentals to his character and how he thinks. He's a hothead. I mean, the first opening scene of this, the Star battle was great. It's beautifully filmed. I loved what Rosa's sister did. I like how she knew, like, being a bomber, you're probably gonna kamikaze into this shit. But Poe, it just takes risks, and he does it for the sake of stuff. Even though at the same time he doesn't always think first when he should. I like that, and you see what problems that entails. And I like how the director Rian Johnson really directed into Poe's story. And I think Poe really has an intriguing aspect to him. And then going to Laura Dean's character, I liked where her and Poe's dynamics were, because Poe didn't get what she was doing, but when you get to see what she does, especially when she hyperdrives right into the fucking Snoke ship and just blows it up. Time I saw that scene happen, I literally replay that scene probably like every hour, because I love that scene. But really, the first time I saw it, my screening was silent, just dead silent. Then I saw it again this morning, and it was so cool to see, because when that moment happens, this girl's gonna be a traitor. She's not. She has one of the best scenes in this film, and I think Poe even looked at that and seen that sometimes, yeah, really, you don't just have to shoot, and we do see that at the end, when instead of helping Luke Skywalker, Poe decides, no, there's another time we are the light that is to spark up this rebellion we need to survive, and gets everyone on board to leave. And then everyone looks at Leia and they're like, what are you doing? What are you looking at me for? Go! Of course, since it's Leia's best friend, let's drive right back into Leia. Carrie Fisher's last performance as Leia, and Carrie Fisher, man, gave me goosebumps. Choked me up the first time I saw her on screen. But man, I think the one thing we should talk about is she can fly! This is a scene that really caught me off guard in the first time I saw it. I didn't know what to think of it. Thinking on it, it is a very weird scene, but I like it. I like the intriguing, because the Force is this mystical thing that, even though we know what it is, we don't know all that it entails. Because George Lucas has always, in the other movies, he would always throw different things in that the Force could do. I mean, Force lightning, Force communication, make people do whatever you want. You will watch this video all the way through. Stuff like that. It's kind of different. And obviously her floating towards, I wouldn't say she was flying, but she was floating. And it was cool to see those Force powers that we actually got to see Leia be one with the Force. Very, very different, and I like what we saw with Leia. That is so cool, and obviously, I think to me, this is Carrie Fisher's best performance as Leia. The emotion she brought, the scene when Luke sees her, and she's like, I know what you're gonna say. I changed my hair. And just Luke's smile. Mark Hamill played that role so well as well, and Carrie Fisher goes into it just smiling, and I'm gonna choke up and start tearing up. I'm gonna miss Carrie Fisher as this role, and just in general, she was so good. Of course, Mark Hamill plays Luke motherfucking Skywalker, and even though the series took something in a major direction that I never thought I would see with Luke Skywalker, I liked it. Personally, I liked what they did with Luke Skywalker. Totally different than what I thought they were gonna do. Totally different. I thought we were gonna get Luke Skywalker, motherfucker. Even though he did it in more an intelligent way than his lightsaber way, I liked what they did with Luke Skywalker. Especially the second viewing. I was more on board with it. I was not as conflicted. He's dark. He's grumpy. He's weird. Because he's been deserted for years. And it's different. The guy tried to kill Kylo Ren. He's the one that technically pushed Kylo Ren to the dark side. And that is insane. Because this whole time we're like, Snoke seduced him. Turns out, Luke Skywalker is the one that, even though Snoke was trying to seduce him, Luke Skywalker is the one that really pushed him to the dark side. And really, Kylo Ren is just a small, frightened kid at that point. His uncle was trying to kill him. That's tough. But I do really like Luke. I like seeing his original lightsaber in those flashbacks. I wish we would have actually seen his lightsaber. But whatever. I understand why it didn't happen. I liked the whole scene with Luke Hamill, though, when we first saw it. I was a little weirded out when he just threw it. It was tough. It's tough to live up to, like, when you're waiting 2 years to hear what Luke Skywalker is going to say to Rey, for him to just throw it. Obviously, it played for laughs. I think it worked efficiently. I just was very caught off guard, like, okay, that's where we're going. Okay, I get it. But him and Rey talking, Rey and them had a great dynamic, but really this is Mark Hamill's best portrayal as Luke Skywalker. This is hands down his best portrayal. The emotion, the raw grittiness he brought was great. I like the humor they infused in Luke Skywalker, but also the darkness. My favorite scene, though, with him has to be Yoda. I mean, when Yoda shows up, who didn't freak out a little bit? Especially since they went puppet and not CGI. Who didn't freak out? I did, and I loved it. I loved that. And their dynamic talking back and forth, just memories back to Empire Strikes Back when they were on Dagobah. I loved it. I seriously cannot get over that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in the whole film. But Luke Skywalker's dynamic between Yoda, Rey, and everyone was just great. And then seeing him, of course, with Carrie Fisher was great. Hearing them talk. And I also really do like the scene when Chewbacca busts down the door. He's like, Chewie, why are you here? And he's like, where's Han? And you just... Han Solo still lived throughout this film. And every time it's mentioned him, you just get that feeling just throughout your whole body. Like, I don't like that sense. But that scene when Luke Skywalker sneaks on the Millennium Falcon while Chewbacca is eating some porgs, which is a really fun scene I actually like. But when Luke Skywalker sneaks on the Millennium Falcon, goosebumps again. Getting those memories filled. It's kind of reminded me of when Han Solo got back on the Millennium Falcon in Force Awakens. The one scene in there that I really liked was when R2-D2 turns on and Luke Skywalker just seems so happy with joy to see as such an old friend. And that was great. R2-D2 did play the little card, though, of Obi-Wan Kenobi, we need your help. Him playing that projection really worked for Luke Skywalker to be like, yeah, I gotta help out. And I like that whole thing. I love Luke Skywalker. And yes, he died. But he gave it his all because he pretty much let the rebellion... He was the reason the rebellion got away. He was the one. He got right in front of Kylo Ren. And I love when he just goes like this. Kylo Ren just starts shooting a bunch of shit at his force projection. And he just comes out and goes... Come on. One of the best scenes. Luke Skywalker finessed that motherfucker. I love that scene. It was so brilliantly played by Mark Hamill, of course. And oh my god, I fell in love with Luke Skywalker in this film again. I mean, I love where they took him. It was different than what I expected. The second viewing, though, I really fell for it. And yes, I was really caught off guard when he had the blue lightsaber. And then he wasn't making red marks in the game. But then, obviously, once you find out it was force projection, it makes sense. I liked it. Get out of the way the one thing I didn't really like about the film, but actually the second time worked a bit better. Before I get into my favorite aspect of the film, even though I love Luke Skywalker, I have one more favorite aspect that I do want to talk about. And the thing before that, though, is Finn. Finn in this film, as much as he was the central protagonist, I would say, in The Force Awakens, he kind of got sidelined on here. I actually enjoyed his story. I thought it was more of a fun ride the second time through. First time I was like, I don't need this scene. Del Toro's cool. I love Del Toro, but as DJ, come on, like, what is this character? Like, this is too weird. But Finn really works. I think Finn works better than what most people think. I think it furthers his character in a separate, different way that we didn't expect him to. But I like his fight with Captain Phasma. He kicks some ass in that scene, even though Phasma was really whooping his ass till she starts getting distracted. But Finn overall is such a weird, unique character, and even though I don't like the forced romance that they have with Rose, I do like their dynamic together. I just wish, this is the one thing, and I don't mean this to happen, I wish Finn would have sacrificed himself. I wish he would have blown up, I wish he would have flown in and destroyed it. It would have made more of a sacrificial arc. Yes, it would have been different, that yes, Finn died, but I think it would have worked in that moment instead of Rose saving him. I'm just being honest and laying it out there, but that scene, like when Rose saved him, I was like, oh, I kind of wanted him to die, not in a bad way, but because I think it would have fit for the story better. I want you guys to comment down below and tell me what do you guys think of that. But now let's go to my favorite aspect of this whole film, and that's Rey and Kylo Ren. Really, Kylo Ren. Adam Driver steals a lot of the scenes in this film. He is brilliant. I think he is such a fantastic actor, and I think if you weren't on board with Kylo Ren in Force Awakens, this film delves deeper into his psyche that you kind of understand the dude. And you kind of understand why he acted how he was in The Force Awakens. Snoke calls him this. Get that stupid thing off of your head. And when he takes it off, he's really dealing with a lot of stuff inside of him. And him and Rey having that whole Skype call Force Awakens Force connection was very intriguing. And all my favorite moments of the film were from those. Again, another thing that the Force we didn't know could do, but connect to people. Obviously, Snoke did it. But it was cool to see their connection come together, and I liked seeing what Kylo Ren ended up doing. He killed Snoke. He's being crazy. This dude is Supreme Leader. Who knows where this guy's going to go in the next installment? We did see some light in him, and they built that up right, where you think he's going to go good. The dude kills Snoke. Him and Rey fight off the Praetorian Guards, which is one of my favorite lightsaber scenes. Another great moment in Star Wars history. But I loved seeing that because he really is. You see the light building in him. He says, I don't hate my father. I don't hate this. But really, he was just scared of Luke Skywalker, and he went to the dark side for reasons of that. But then he turns to Rey and says, no, we forget the past. We turn it all. Will you join me? Part of me wanted Rey to join him, but at the same time, I liked that Rey, she broke the lightsaber, the blue lightsaber broke, and then we move on to Rey's character, which again, another character that got furthered into a different development. I love Rey's character in here. I love her dynamic between all the characters, but really, her and Kylo Ren really stole it. Daisy really is brilliant playing Rey, and I cannot wait to see where her character goes. Obviously, she is now the official last Jedi that we have out there to teach and praise and show off. And if you guys didn't catch, she actually did save the books from that tree. It's in one of the drawers when Finn goes to take the blanket out. I caught that my second time, and I really like that she had stolen them. Yoda knew they weren't in there, but anyway, she already knows about it. She knows the Jedi. She knows Luke Skywalker gave her 3 good lessons. She's going to take those and propel into her own rightness. It's kind of like Kanan in Star Wars Rebels, a character who doesn't get a lot and doesn't really want to be a teacher, but he's going to have to end up being the teacher to other next Jedis. Maybe it's the Broom Kid, who goes like this at the end of the film. And I believe that kid, there has to be more to that scene. I'm curious to hear what Rian Johnson says about that scene on a commentary or an interview, because he ended that scene and it's very intriguing, and there has to be more to that in my opinion. Really, Rey and Kylo Ren, I think, are the main dynamics between this film. I really was expecting Rey to get her own lightsaber, but I guess she isn't. Not until the next film. I'm curious to see what she gets, but I have a feeling she'll probably go with a green lightsaber, just being honest. But overall, I really like the Star Wars The Last Jedi. Was it conflicting the first time I saw it? Absolutely. Am I still conflicted? No. I actually feel like the film got better in my opinion. I think I would still keep it at the same rating as an A. I don't think I can get it to an A+. Are there things I wish they would have done differently? Yes, but that's just because I'm selfish and wanted my own theories to come true. And obviously the people we find out Rey's parents are, they're just no one. And which you kind of built that up to be like maybe a Kenobi or Qui-Gon Jinn or Luke Skywalker. You built it up to be someone. and it didn't turn out to be anyone. And maybe down the road, maybe there is a more to that, and they just kind of wanted to settle that in the dust. But I really believe that she really is no one. And I like that. I think it works for her character if they keep it like that. I wish we would have seen a little bit more Snoke or gotten more of him. But like I said, everything I wanted to happen didn't happen for a good enough reason, because I love each and everything that did happen in this film. I like everywhere that they directed each of the characters. I think it worked for these characters, and I think it works for where they went. There's obviously a ton of stuff I'm missing in this spoiler review, so that's why we're going to do this. Comment down below and tell me, what did I miss? What did I forget to talk about? Because I'm really blanking now on stuff to talk about, but I'm sure I am missing some smaller details, some other details that you guys wanted me to discuss. So comment down below and tell me your guys' favorite moments from Star Wars The Last Jedi. Tell me what moments you wish you would have seen. Tell me what theories you're glad happened or didn't happen. Did you get any theories right? This is something I want to hear. Talk about it down below. And tell me, guys, please tell me your favorite moments. That's something I really want to talk about, and if I did miss something, let's talk about it down below in the comments. Again, I love Star Wars The Last Jedi. I think each and every time I watch this film, I'm going to like it even more. But guys, that's where we're going to have to end this video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, especially if you're new. And until next time, guys, make sure to go check out Sandwich John Films down below so you guys can check out more giveaways and advanced screenings. But guys, may the Force be with all you guys during the holidays, and have a happy holidays. See you guys soon.